Hey guys, it's Batman. That's Dr. Batman. That is, I am the host of Batman's Batcave. We all know who I am. We all know what I represent. I represent the Batman side of TikTok, Instagram, and all over the world. Anyway, I had a vision one day that Batman's Batcave was going to take over all the podcasts in the world, and that vision is coming true. Batman's Batcave is coming out with its own merch. Well, we already got merch. You can order yours on my website. I am ChrisW.com or Facebook or Instagram messages. Today we are having Mental Waco, one of the boys from Mental Waco, and the founder and the owner of Mental Waco. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to some, others know him as Mr. Jeremy Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like you to meet Mr. Jeremy Davis and Mr. Dalen Sauls of Mental Waco. Mr. Davis, can you explain what Mental Waco is and how it represents boys and girls all over the state?
Yeah. So Mentor Waco is a nonprofit mentoring program for boys and girls 6th through 12th grade in the greater Waco area. We focus on academic success, building a strong heart for the community, and also social excellence. So it's a wraparound mentoring program. We provide a variety of services to help kids become successful, boys and girls, like you mentioned.
So when you say we represent, well, when I was in Mental Waco, okay, let me start. So when you started, you were doing just boys. Was it hard to find boys to mentor, or was it hard to like get the word out about Mental Waco? Was it hard doing that, or?
I would say it was definitely hard to get the word out about Mentor Waco. It wasn't hard to find boys to work with in Mentor Waco. Like I've never had an issue having kids be a part of the program. It was more as in resources and funding that was more hard to come by, but I never had an issue getting kids or parents or families to join the program.
Okay, and as you say that, I know when I joined Mental Waco, as a former Mental Waco boy, I can say that Mental Waco had an impact on my life and things like that of that nature. So Mr. Dalen, or would you prefer Mr. Sauls?
It don't matter.
Okay. So Mr. Dalen, how is Mental Waco working in your life?
Well, it's working good. I'm gonna start from the beginning when I first joined, because I heard about it through my mom, and then I was like, nah, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So then, so then my mom was like, well, just go to one and see if you like it. So I think I went to the Thanksgiving
Friendsgiving.
Yeah, Friendsgiving, like whenever we was preparing the food. So that was my first time there. I was a little nervous, but they made me feel welcome and stuff. And then ever since then, I loved it. We've been doing community service and all of that. And also it's helped me like with my scholarships and stuff. So like, for the scholarships, you have to put like if you have any community service. And I have a whole bunch of community service. So that's good.
Yeah. I know when Mental Waco steps out, they step out with pride, and they step out with good decisions. I can truly say Mental Waco is a good organization for boys and girls. Because I'm just used to boys, but girls,
yeah, I get you.
all over the world. So I have a couple questions for you both. Let me get my questions. So questions that Mr. Davis brought to my attention, I put his questions first because my questions are like, oh, okay, let's do that. One of the questions that you brought to my attention is, what is your why? Now I asked my parents, what is your why? They kept asking me like, for what is for what? I'm like, what is your why? Like, why do you do it? Or why, like, explain what does that question mean to us?
So to me, if somebody's asking like, what is your why? Like, what is your purpose for doing the things that you do? So whether that's working a job or whether that's volunteering, whether that's taking care of your family, why are you doing those things? So for me, I work a job because I love having a roof over my head and I love the car
Right.
that I drive and I love the food that I eat. So that's my why, why I volunteer, why I do Mentor Waco is because I'm passionate about the success of my community and the success of those around me, which starts with the youth. So that's kind of the why. So when I say what is your why, I mean what is that thing that drives you? What makes you do the things you do? Why are you uh, choosing to spend your time on the things you're choosing to spend your time on?
Right. So I'm going to answer that question from my point of view. What is my why? My why is that when I step into a room, I want people to just not only see my face, but see what I represent. For instance, my podcast, or more instance, my parents, or people of that nature and things of that nature. I just want people to know that. So the next question I have for you is, when and how did you start mentoring?
I feel like that's a great question. I feel like that's an interesting one for me because I feel like I've been mentoring the youth my whole life. No, I'm just playing. But even when I was younger, back in middle school, I went to George Dixon and La Vega ISD, and I remember, Black History Month was coming, and I grew up in a very education friendly household. We learned about where we come from. We learned about our people. So at school, I was in an environment where that wasn't the norm. And I remember in 7th grade, like petitioning to have a Black History Month program, petitioning to get on the announcements every day during Black History Month, which was a battle, surprisingly. So much so that I had to reach out to call George Dixon himself, the guy that the school is named after, and he came to the school on my behalf, and that's how that happened. So I mean, I think my influence has been around for a while, but I think the time that I formally started mentoring was when I was working at Tennyson. When I worked at Tennyson Middle School, 2018, probably around February-ish, I just started working with those first 7 boys for Mentor Waco. And yeah, we've been going steady ever since then.
So the next question, and I want you to answer this question. Like, I know you gave me the question, but I want like all 3 of us to answer the question, not at the same time, but one at a time. So the question you gave me is, what is your how?
Okay. So yeah, so my why is because I want to see my community be successful. I want to see individuals around me have success. My how is by starting my nonprofit mentoring program, right? I said, my why was the youth. So my program is geared towards helping youth go to have a successful life. So the things that I do in Mentor Waco, being a board member of Waco ISD, the influence that gives me over the things that happen in our
I never
school.
got to tell you congratulations for that. That's
Thank
one of
you.
the things
Appreciate
I
you.
wanted to tell you. Congratulations.
Appreciate you. So but I think those are kind of my how. That's how I do those things, by making sure that I'm putting in the real work on the ground, but also advocating in roles that I'm in.
Right. You want me to go first? Or you gonna do it?
No, you can go ahead and go.
So my why is that my why is I want to be able to do things with my life. For instance, at least be able to own my own company, which I'm doing. Setting an example for it. My how is to let's see. So I know, give me an example on how to answer.
So you said like, okay, so you're saying like, what's your why, what's your how? So my why was that, like, the thing that drives me is the fact that I want to see my community be successful. I want to see the kids thrive and have opportunities around me.
Right.
My how is I started Mentor Wake Up and I ran for the school board. You know what I'm saying? So that's how, that's the action that I'm doing. So I'm mentoring youth, I'm helping youth find success. I joined the board to help our district move in a more successful place. So that's my why and that's my how, you know. Cause and effect, think of it like that.
Okay. So my how would be that when I started when I started all of this, I was just a middle school student at Carver Middle School. Uh, the person who inspired me to have at least common decency on my life is Isaac Carrier, the principal of Carver, before it got burned down in Waco. But he used to say this quote to me. Okay, so no, that was my pastor. He told me that keep going until your ceiling becomes your floor. And I think I got it reversed, something like that. But anyway, the thing is, my how is I was the president in student council of Carver. So that's how I would put that question.
So I would say my why. My why is to help more Black students that look like me, to help them to be successful in the future. So like going to college and like not at the high school, like just don't go to college, then like just mope around, still staying in their parents' house and stuff like that. So I would say my how is I want to be a coach when I get older. So like I'm not gonna say I can't do my how right now, but when I graduate, when I graduate from Tarleton, then and then I become a coach, then that'll be my how. Like I would like give back how Mr. Davis is doing to us. But I don't want to start a mentoring program.
You ain't gotta start it because I already started one for y'all. So y'all just come back and take this one over. That's what's
Right, right. Or when you or say you move to another city, you can start one there, but just have inspiration to do it.
Exactly. Go ahead, finish. Go ahead.
So
When I was younger, I was in a lot of trouble in school, sports, and then my coaches, they really helped me out and stuff. Okay. my coaches, they really helped me out and stuff. So like I want to do the same thing.
Right. Okay. So as a mental Waco student, I know Mr. Davis called them OG. You consider yourself an OG or a new member?
Nah, I'm not an OG.
So, Mr. Davis, I guess Mr. Davis, I know when I was in Mental Waco, you would have us do certain things. Are those things still going by? Are they still in position? Like Sundays, we will go.
For sure. We yes, sir. Mental Waco is like the sun. Hey, we're gonna come up every morning. You can count on us. So yes, Mondays, we still have Monday dinners every Monday. We still have study hall every other Wednesday. We got one this Wednesday. We still volunteer 3 times a month. We're gonna go to the hangar and feed the homeless under the bridge at least once, you know. We have our 2 social events a month as well. So, you know, we'll keep on with the program. The program gonna keep going forward.
Right. So I had one more question. I think it slipped my mind. Let me get this over real quick. So I know you told us that when you started mentoring, okay, I'm gonna just say the question. So as you see yourself being a mentor, how has it had an impact on your life?
How has being a mentor had an impact on my life?
Right.
Is that the question?
Yes.
Yeah, I think the impact that being a mentor had on my life is I had to learn a lot about myself. And I think I had to correct a lot within me so that I didn't pour toxic things into other people. And I think that's the biggest thing. I think anybody who wants to be in a leadership role or be a mentor or uh, be a role model in any shape, form, or fashion, you don't have to be perfect because I'm definitely not perfect, far from it. But I think you definitely want to make sure that you're a work in progress. So you're always willing to learn and grow. And I think each student that I've ever mentored I've not only, I think, taught them something, but they've taught me a lot of things too. And it's about myself, about how I do things, how I talk, how I move, not like a roasted thing, because, I flame anybody, but it's, from just a standpoint of communication. I learned more about how to communicate with different personality types and how to approach different situations based upon their individual's personality. And I feel like I learned about things, my triggers and my weak points. I learned more about that through mentoring. So I think I've gained more than I think I've given through mentorship for sure.
So, okay, so this is our last, our first, our second to the last question. So, what will be your legacy?
Woo.
That's the question.
I can't say. The reason why I say I can't say what my legacy is because I think I heard who was it? It was either T.I. or Lil Wayne. Don't miss one of them. In an interview, they got asked this about what their legacy was, and they said they couldn't answer because they feel like it would be limiting. They would be limiting themselves. So as much as I want to be like, oh yeah, my legacy is going to be Mentor Waco, and that I helped kids in the city, I don't know what things God has planned for me for the rest of my life. So I just pray whatever my legacy is, that it was that I was a child of God and that I helped people. So if no matter what else I do, no matter what other accomplishments I'm able to achieve on my time on earth, as long as my legacy has to do with me being a child and a servant of God and helping people in my community, I'm cool with that.
So as he said, we don't know what our legacy will be, but the legacy that you choose is correct me if I'm wrong, it will be based on your decisions in life because
for sure.
Decisions that you make, they have consequences and repercussions.
For sure. So if you want a good legacy, you gotta put in work for it. Definitely have to work for it. It's not just gonna come to you.
Here's everybody's favorite part. I don't know if it's everybody's favorite part. Anyway, so we're going to come up with a conclusion and we're going to make it based on what we talked about today and put it like into a sentence. So.
Okay. What you said, do what? Tell me again one more time.
So it's like a ending point, so that we can take.
Like last words, like my last words.
Right.
I think anybody that's listening, I would say, 1, build a relationship with God. 2, be obedient. 3, get active in a positive way. And when I say get active, I don't mean you have to start a mentorship program. I don't mean you have to run for an elected office. I just mean you have to do something. Because if all of us did a little bit, we'll get it done. So I think whoever you are, wherever you are in life, if you have any positive light, give it. Give, because we could never give more to others than what God has given us. So I think that would be that's my wrap up.
Right. So what I took from today is if you can't be anybody else, be yourself because hey, you're only yourself in the life that you choose. But as Mr. Davis said, the rules of life apply to everyone. But can you repeat that for us? What you said?
Yeah, that definitely the rules of life apply to everybody. We all have to work hard for the things that we want in life. And if your goal in life is to build a strong legacy, you have to work really, really hard to lay that foundation. So I think legacy is important, but I think what's even more beyond a legacy here on earth is the work that you're putting in that's gonna manifest in heaven. So I think while we do want to work hard on earth and we do want our legacy to be grand, I think our focus should be on what brick we're laying in heaven. And I think the legacy on earth will come along with it.
So there we go. So I'm gonna put you. I'm gonna stop this real quick. So I hope everyone enjoyed Batman's Batcave. I want to thank Mr. Jeremy Davis and was it Dalen? There we go. Dalen, I want to thank you for joining us on Batman's Batcave. Both of you for joining us on Batman's Batcave for the 6th episode, and I want to thank you very much. But yeah, that is going to be the end of Batman's Batcave. I hope you all enjoyed it.